Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. And we're out here again in the wild filming, this time on an iPhone with no mics, because we're really excited to show you exactly what the Natural Energy Company can do when partnered with key individuals such as HeatGeek and one of our favorite products right now, Perform Pipe. So what I want to do at the moment is just show you around the installation, show you what we've done, and then I'll explain why I believe Perform Pipe is one of the most revolutionary products in the heating industry and market going forward. Let's jump right into it. So this installation here that we've got compiles of a Aerotherm Plus, which we've installed on this existing base, and we've got the heat pump flow and return coming along this retaining wall. And as I come down here, you can see it comes along here underneath the slabs into here and then enters into where the hot water cylinder and diverter valve are. So the main things that are different about this installation, as you can see, the space between here and here is not that wide, and this is where traditional underground pipe work would really struggle. The bend radius on these underground pipes is probably around about 600 mil or more, which means basically we have to come down here and have a huge sweeping bend either side. So in this space here, it just would not be possible. Not to mention that the actual disruption to this area would be huge. You'd have to dig out a lot more space. You probably wouldn't have it looking as neat as this because of the nature of where the pipe would have to terminate and where you get the connections on. And you also wouldn't be able to get the tight outlet cover that we've got there. And this is kind of where Perform Pipe really comes into its own. So what exactly is Perform Pipe? And why do I think it's really important for the next stage of heat pump rollout? The first one is location and flexibility of install. If you're wanting a heat pump installed at your home, or if you're installing one as an installer, you'll know yourself, you can't always have it at the back of a house or back to back with a building, so the heat pump pipework can flow straight into the house. Heat pump rollout really swings on installation flexibility at reasonable cost. So when you're installing a heat pump with traditional underground pipe, it just becomes such a headache, and in my opinion, I just avoid it at all costs. With Perform Pipe, it allows me to have a much more flexible, easy installation without having to worry about connections, leaks, or actually insulating the pipe as it comes out the ground, which is an important point we'll cover in just a moment. In terms of what the pipe actually is though, it's a stainless steel corrugated pipe coming in DN32, which is basically 1.25" or 35mm pipe, or DN25, which is essentially 1-inch pipe or 28mm copper. It comes with specific types of fittings, so you need to be careful what fittings you use and how you order them, but the Scottish company GTI Direct will have those fittings available for you in the near future. Ultimately though, it is a pipe which comes as a twin pipe which has insulated around it with aerogel insulation, which is a very good heat retainer within the pipe. Aerogel insulation is a similar type of insulation that's used on the space station as an example. To install it, it's no different to a traditional underground pipe. You dig 600 mil below the surface of the ground you're wanting to put the pipe down, lay the pipe straight down, and then cover it over with your covering, be it sand, gravel, or what have you. Unlike traditional underground pipe, it doesn't need to be in a duct. It's extremely flexible, which means you can have probably about 150 to 200mm bend on the end of it. It's that flexible. And it does allow a much more neat and easy installation, as you've seen here. So if we look at Perform Pipe in comparison to a typical underground pipe, let's look at the main drawback in my opinion. If we take an underground pipe, typical one, it's usually about 140mm wide. Within that, you've got two pipes, varying in size depending on specification. Now those pipes are traditionally quite close together within this underground pipe. The underground pipe is of course filled with insulation surrounding it, so it kind of comes in one big anaconda pipe which you feed into the ground, which, as I mentioned, has a bend radius of somewhere upwards of 600mm or more, depending on the actual physical width of it. The biggest problem with that traditional underground pipe is insulating it as it comes out of the ground. External insulation, or the insulation we see here in this garage, all has to be 19mm wall thickness. Doesn't matter what it is, it has to be 19mm wall thickness, at least at one end, which would be outside the house. Now, when you are considering an underground pipe traditionally, insulating that is tricky because 18 is of course 36mm.
To achieve the correct insulation, we need 36 millimeters between the pipes to allow the insulation to go snugly down and hug the pipes so there's no air gaps around it and the insulation is completely cohesive all the way to the outdoor unit. In typical underground insulation circumstances, completing this is difficult, which is why I basically avoided it at all costs where possible. If I can't do it, I usually install a refrigerant split unit, which is much easier to install. With Perform Pipe, I now have the flexibility of installing units across the country, multiple distances away from the houses, without worrying or having concerns about the connections, the insulations, or the water permeability to this insulation, which is a massive deal when you're installing these heat pumps.
Thank you so much for checking out this video on Perform Pipe. If you'd like to learn more, please get in touch today. We'd be more than happy to help with your inquiry. Don't forget, if you are installing a heat pump outside, make sure it's insulated correctly. It's one of the fastest ways to lose efficiency, and loss of efficiency means you're paying for a higher bill. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.